Good morning, everybody. Joe Ciaccio here. Been getting some calls on agents who are moving too quick when they're going over everything with the clients, charge them or making them have to make different decisions because the client's not approved with what they think they should go with. So what I'm going to do today is draw you like a little diagram on what I recommend you to do before you give out a price. Hopefully this will prevent you from having a chargeback and hopefully prevent you from not getting a sale, because what happens is that we're with somebody, we haven't had any leads, we're driving around, we finally find somebody, we get so excited, we don't realize it, but we do. Our blood pressure starts going, we get a little bit anxious, we know we need to make a sale. So what happens, we start to stumble on our words, we tend to deviate from doing the right thing, and we start making shortcuts because in our mind the client says, I want to buy. So let's go over a couple things here. Chargebacks are our worst fear. Shouldn't use the word fear because it's not good when it comes to sales, yet it's the truth. You go to make a sale, you leave the house, oh my God, I wonder if they're going to cancel, I wonder if I'm going to get written by somebody else. So what you need to do, you need to go into a home with a positive train of thought. The client has no idea what you can offer them. No idea. You haven't talked to them. They have no idea what's a high price or a low price unless they talked to somebody last week. Yet the person they talked to last week could have prices higher than us. So what we need to do is that we need to go into a house, become a friend with that person in that small time limit that we have to do it. We need to make them feel comfortable that what we're there to do is to take care of them, help them, and to relieve the burden from their family members when that sad day comes and they pass away. And the only way to do that is to have like a little chart of how you're supposed to do things. When I first started in the business, I was writing down door knock, smile, where I sit, what I should say. The client can't read upside down. So if you have this paper to your left and you're going down the notes, all the client is going to sit and say, oh, he must not know what he's doing, or he needs to go down a list to do the right thing, or they may not think anything, because what's going to happen is that you're not going to look at it every single time you need to say something. We know that we can pick up 1 or 2 or 3 lines at one time, go in that order to make our discussion with the client a proper one. Now, this is where you need to kind of tap your brakes. The client may give you, may not give you any type of a buying signal that they want to buy something from you today. Yet your goal, as I said a second ago, is to get them to like you, respect you, and they must feel in their stomach that you are the right person to help them with it. And the way for us to do that is to speak a little bit slower, speak with them with a compassion, ask them, have you ever had any type of funeral expense program before, a final expense program before, a burial program before? And if they say yes, do you still have it? Yes or no? If they say yes, great, find out about it. What carrier, what face amount, what premiums, and how long ago did you get it? Because what you're doing is that you're gathering information. If they say no, I've never bought anything, you need to say, well, that's fantastic. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to relieve you of all those hassles. Today we're going to qualify you for a program that you can afford. And the best part about it is I'm going to tell you how it works, show you what's available. I'm going to turn the paper around and I'm going to show you exactly what the prices are, and from there you're going to pick the one that you like the most. Knowing if you can't afford a big one that you really want, I can always come back in 3, 6 months, 8 months from now to take care of you. So you got to draw a roadmap for them to let them know everything that you're going to do when you're going to be going through your presentation. Now the reason I want to know if they had a policy before and if they still have it is because in their mind they're going to sit and say, I've got a $10,000 policy, I got it 7 years ago, and the premiums are only $42 a month. So you need to tell them when you're going through your conversation, the policy you have, make sure you keep it, don't get rid of it, because this is based on your age, your health, and your medications. Now let's say nothing has changed, you're still in the same perfect health. What we're going to go over today is going to cost a little bit more because you were 7 years younger when you bought that last policy. That's why it's important for us to find a plan today to where we can lock you in with the same rates. The face amount will stay the same. It's going to have a cash value like the other one. So you need to kind of tell them, because what happens in people's mind, they're going to sit and say, I got a policy for $10,000, I'm only paying $42,000. Now this sales guy is showing me the same $10,000 policy. It is the same face amount, but now the premiums are $64.19. That don't make sense. I'm only paying $42,000 now. Why do I want to pay $64,000? You need to let them know that, so when they're making that decision up in that brain, that you can't see. What ends up happening with us is that you're visiting with a client, and if you're not saying the things that they want to hear, or the things you're saying are not making sense, or you're speaking too fast, you're interrupting, you're not listening and giving them a response to what they ask, that block wall keeps going up. And the thing about it is, it's not a solid block wall. It's the clear blocks. They can still see you, you can still see them, but once that block gets to a certain point, they're shut off. So this is why you need to have a conversation with the person. You're not there to be a dictator. This is what you got to do, and don't let them speak. Invite them to speak with you. People want to be part of the discussion. People want to feel that they're in control. And you can do that by asking them questions. Is what I'm going over something that you wanted to know about? We're going to go over some different ideas. I need to ask you about your health. May I please ask you health questions? Let them say yes. People want to participate in the process because it makes them feel that they're making the decision. They are. Yet you're leading them down the yellow brick road of what they need to have, what plans are available. You're turning the paper around and you're saying, which one do you want? If you've done your job properly and they like you, they trust you, and you've crossed all your T's and dotted your I's, they're going to sit and say, I want that one there. Now, this is what ends up happening when we go too fast. You're not going to ask underwriting questions. You ask the client, well, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Man, nothing's wrong with me. I'm doing just fine. Well, they could have had a heart attack 6 months ago, and yes, they are doing fine, yet the reason they are is because of the heart attack. So you need to ask them health questions. I like having an application with me, a paper app with me, and show it to them. I say, what I want to do, I want to run down these health questions real quick. I know almost all of them are no, but I just need to make sure if you answer a yes, because, okay? Let's go through it. So you run through it, and they're looking at it with you. You're looking down, but you're looking up like this here to see if they're looking down, and you're having them. Now, if you really want to go the extra mile, hand them a pen and tell them, why don't you mark, note all the answers, or if you got a yes, just put a yes there. That's making them feel they are participating in it. Some people will do it, some people don't, yet it's a way for you to have a better interaction with the person and to where they see what you're saying. Because it's so easy to sit and say, how's your health? Man, my health is doing great. Are you on any medication? Yes, I'm on just a high blood pressure medication. I'm on a cholesterol medication. That's fine. Yet they could have had a stroke. Most people will go on a blood thinner after a stroke, yet it just depends on what type of stroke they had. If they had a stroke caused by a blood clot, they're probably going to be on a blood thinner. So these are the things you need to know when you're speaking to people. And this is what happens. When you ask people a generic question, what medications are you on? They may forget one or two. It's happened to me. Wrote a lady about a month ago. She was in perfect health. Nothing's wrong with her. We're going down the application. This is on the phone. Going down the application. Bam, 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 bam. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, 6 weeks later, 7 weeks later, 8 weeks later, 9 weeks later, 10 weeks later, 11 weeks later, 12 weeks later, 13 weeks later, 14 weeks later, 15 weeks later, 16 weeks later, 17 weeks later, 18 weeks later, 19 weeks later, 20 weeks later, 21 weeks later, 22 weeks later, 23 weeks later, 24 weeks later, 25 weeks later, 26 weeks later, 27 weeks later, 28 weeks later, 29 weeks later, 30 weeks later, 31 weeks later, 32 weeks later, 33 weeks later, 34 weeks later, 35 weeks later, 36 weeks later, 37 weeks later, 38 weeks later, 39 weeks later, 40 weeks later, 41 weeks later, 42 weeks later, 43 weeks later, 44 weeks later, 45 I get to the lungs, the COPD, the emphysema, I get to asthma, all that stuff there. I'm asking her every single thing. She's a diabetic, okay? She's a diabetic on insulin. And we talked about, not epilepsy, we talked about neuropathy. She said, no, don't have any of that stuff there. Yet when I asked her the medications, all she said was high blood and cholesterol. Go through the application process, denied, because she has neuropathy and she's taking gabapentin. So I messed up, okay? So when we go through these calls here, nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. And the reason I give examples like this is so when you're going through the same process, this stuff that I'm talking about is going to penetrate here and you're going to start doing double digging. To me, it's easier to double dig when you're face to face. Tell them, how about handing me your medications? Let me look at those medications. Probably got nothing to worry about, but just so I have it on the file, so in case there's anything that may pop up. Underwriting. When you do not underwrite properly, you're going to tell them, I'm going to put you with your favorite company. Let's say that's Royal Neighbors. You tell them about all the member benefits they're going to get, all the great things they're going to have. And then all of a sudden, you go fill out the application. At the end, it's going to come back. It's going to come back different than what you applied for and what you told the client. So if you told the client a preferred and it comes back to standard, now you got to deal with it's going to cost you more. If you apply for a preferred and it comes back a decline, now you got to think about what carrier can I put them with? What questions did I not ask? Did I ask to see the medications? Because now if you go from a preferred with anybody to a guaranteed issue, the rate's going to be $30, $40 a month higher for the same face amount. So now you've got to sit and do some dancing, lower the face amount to keep around the same dollar amount. Don't rush. Do not deviate from your plan. Because it's so hard to overcome when you promise them this carrier at this price, and now it comes back other than you discussed. So it pays to take a step backwards, sit down, relax, ask all the questions, and if they say something that doesn't really make sense to you, say, can you please give me a little bit more detail about what you said? A lot of people, I believe from the bottom of my heart, when they go to a doctor's office, the doctors will tell them almost everything. Doctor's not lying to them, yet the doctor's not telling them every single thing because they may know that client's a worrywart. That client can be a hypochondriac. So when they go to the doctor says, yes, I'm going to put you on this medication because of your high blood pressure. Yet he forgot to tell them that they had congestive heart failure. Okay, they may have something else wrong with them, but they don't want to say the whole thing because they don't want the client to worry. It's our job to find out what medication they're on. Coreg is now used for blood pressure. It's also used for congestive heart failure. Back in the day, if you use Coreg and you use a diuretic, that was definitely 100% congestive heart failure. You need to ask the questions. Now, here's the last thing. When you're picking a carrier, this has probably got to be the hardest thing for every single agent, every agent. It's got to be even more difficult for a brand new agent who wants to make a sale. They're going to go to the rate calculator that we give you guys. They're going to put in 67-year-old male, non-smoker. He wants $15,000. He says, I don't care what it costs. And you go to the cheapest one you go to. Price is going to be $100. And you're going to go, oh my God, $100. I don't know if he's going to get approved with that there. I know I asked him all the health questions. I know he told me about the COPD, but let me see if I can slide it in with this carrier and they won't catch it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, the insurance company knows more about us than we know about ourselves. Okay? Milliman gives them all the information they need. They gather information, from the North Pole to the South Pole. They grab it, compile it. This is why you need to tell your client, the insurance company know more about us than we know about ourselves. So by telling me everything, I can make sure I'm giving you the best program. What you're really telling them is like, don't BS me. Tell me that medication that you want to tell me about, and make sure you tell me about that heart attack you had a year and a half ago. That's what you're telling them in a roundabout way. So now you're looking through the pricing, and you forget to ask them how they get their Social Security. Do they get it in a direct express? Do they get it their checking account, their savings account? You got to know that. You have to know how they get their money, because if it is a direct express, you can't write Rural Neighbors. You can't. You cannot write it. They don't accept that form of payment. Got to go with Transamerica. Other companies as well. Now you've got to sit and say, this client really wants the cheapest thing, and I see Mutual of Omaha, the cheapest product out there. I'm going to write them that one there. Anything wrong with that? No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Here's the issue. If you have a client who's of Social Security age or on Social Security dollars, underage disability, you need to pick a carrier that we have that will make sure that your client is drafted on the correct day. Here's the example. The 1st or 3rd falls on a Saturday or Sunday. If you go with a carrier who does not use Social Security billing, they're going to send your payment in on the Monday for it to come out on Tuesday. Now, hopefully the money's there. You're going to get a 75% shot it's not going to be there. Or you go with a Social Security billing company whose price may be $2, $3, $4 a month higher. So when that 1st or 3rd falls on a Saturday or Sunday, you know that they'll get their check on Friday. Social Security billing company will draft their account on Friday to help you not get a chargeback on that Tuesday. Now, Joe, the client told me he couldn't afford much. Joe, the client told me he wanted Mutual of Omaha. That's a decision you have to make when you're sitting with that person. If you talk to the client, they say, well, I had it before, but I don't have it anymore. You need to find out why. Was it a bad draft date? Was it an NSF? What caused that client to lose it? This is what you're doing. You're becoming a detective. You're trying to figure out all the loopholes to make sure that when you put these pieces of the puzzle in place, you're making sure that you're going to get paid. So Social Security billing has got to be top on the list, guys. I don't care if the price is $2, $3, $4 higher. Could they flip it? Guys, I've written policies that was the cheapest out there, and they flipped it to a higher premium because they told the client, why would you want to pick a company that has a P.O. box on the return envelope from the policy? Can you believe it? They had Foresters with me, which has a P.O. box. When you have the policy, go straight from the company to the client. An agent went in and said, I would never do business with a company that puts a P.O. box because they're not doing the right thing. The guy said, okay. So we switched. I called him up, put him with a different company after. So now what I do, okay, not out of wanting to work harder or spend more money, I have the policies come to me. From there, I make like a little I love you letter. Mr. Jones, and I write his name in it with a pen. Everything else I've got already with it typed up. Congratulations, you've been approved with American Amicable for immediate benefits for the $12,500 policy that we applied for. Remember, your first payment is due November 3rd. Your premiums are only $82.14. Blah, blah, blah. Congratulations. I love you. If you have any friends or neighbors, have them call me. I sign it, Joe, your agent. Okay? Now, they're going to get it from me, not a P.O. box. It's going to come from me. It's going to have a letter on there. And then what I do on that policy to prevent a chargeback, I'm going to go to the table of contents, And I'm gonna highlight the cash value, paid up insurance, extended term insurance, the face value, how it's always going to be the 15,000 all the way down. I put a paper clip on it. On the front page, I highlight their name and their policy number. So I'm going to do whatever I can when that policy comes to me, when I send it to them, to let them know everything that we spoke about is here, and let me prove it to you because I highlighted it. Okay, let's talk about this. Let me revamp what I said. Don't show the pricing too early. Make sure you know the carrier you're going to put your client with to the best of your ability. Pick a Social Security billing company. Tell them how you've been doing this for a long time, the amount of years you've been in business, how much you really enjoy your job. Your job has just started. My job is not going to be over until the day I die. And when that sad day comes from you, your wife Marie or your son Anthony will be able to call me, and I'll walk them, hold them hands through the entire process. When people start to feel the energy that you're portraying is only the best for them, you'll make more sales. By using Social Security billing, you'll have less chargebacks. By getting the policy delivered to you and sending them a thank you note the day after you write them. All these little small things may cost money, but the way I sit and figure, if I was to get one $500 chargeback, just one, and you don't know who's going to charge back on you, get back one $500 chargeback. Thank you card, by the time you get the stamp, use the little 6 things for $1. Let's say it costs you $1 to mail a thank you card. When Jay mails the actual policy, it'll cost me between $1.75 to $2.50. You divide that $3 or that $4, whatever, into $500, that's a lot of policies that you're going to have canceled on you to make up for that there. Spend a little bit with the hope of saving a lot. Any questions, guys, give us a call. Don't forget, Medicare is right around the corner. It's unbelievable the amount of agents who've decided to take that step to do the Medicare now because they know that you have endless renewals. Renewals are forever. With that said, make it a great day. Call us. Appreciate your hard work in your business. Bye-bye.